Let me ask you a straightforward question that matters. What if better blood circulation was already waiting in your kitchen? What if improved blood vessel health came from just two basic powders? Two common ingredients quietly sitting on your shelf. Nothing fancy, nothing costly, just regular powders with untapped power. When you combine them correctly, something remarkable takes place. The blend becomes more effective than each powder by itself. Most men haven't learned about this mix. Most men don't realize these ingredients were examined by researchers. Studies demonstrate they produce measurable improvements in blood vessels. Right now, I need you to listen carefully. This basic blend can create a genuine difference. My name is Dr. Rachael Ross. I work as a urologist helping older men daily. I assist men past 50 in understanding their bodies as they change. I help them regain authority over their well-being. When blood flow decreases, everything feels more difficult. When nitric oxide levels fall, circulation becomes unreliable. When blood vessels quit responding properly, self-assurance disappears. These shifts impact intimacy, vitality, and endurance. But here's something most men never discover. Your body hasn't given up on you. Your internal chemistry is just adjusting with advancing years. When you give that chemistry the right support, things get better once more. Your body grows stronger, feels warmer, and becomes more energized. In this presentation, I'll describe these two powders. I'll demonstrate how they function as a team. I'll explain why this blend produces a boost to your blood vessels, and I'll teach you the safe way to prepare it at home. You won't need to spend more than a couple of dollars. The most crucial detail comes at the conclusion. Don't jump forward or you'll lose the essential step. After you grasp this blend, everything shifts. You'll see how it elevates nitric oxide. You'll discover how it aids mitochondrial energy creation. You'll find out how it enhances blood thickness. You'll understand how it safeguards the lining of blood vessels. This is exactly why I suggest it to older men. It's from nature, dependable, and easy to prepare. It helps men feel more reactive and self-assured. It helps them feel physically prepared when the moment arrives. Now let's start breaking this down. Let's begin with the initial powder, baking soda. Let's discover why it's more significant than you realize. Let's discuss the initial powder in this blend, baking soda. Most men consider it something for the refrigerator or household cleaning, but within your system, it performs something much more significant, something directly linked to your blood flow and your personal performance. Baking soda or sodium bicarbonate functions as a strong pH balancer. And this is important because as you grow older, your system turns more acidic than it was before. Not dangerously so, but just enough to disrupt one vital system, nitric oxide creation. Your blood vessels react incredibly sensitively to pH shifts. When acid levels increase even slightly, your cells lining the vessels have trouble making nitric oxide, the substance that signals your blood vessels to loosen and expand. And when nitric oxide drops low, circulation slows down, reactions grow weaker, endurance fades quicker, and the body you once counted on just doesn't answer the same way. Now consider this carefully. During any physical effort, including intimate moments, your muscles generate more acid, lactate, hydrogen ions, metabolic byproducts. All of these push your pH down even more. This explains why men experience fatigue or sluggishness during activity, even when their mind stays completely engaged. That's when baking soda steps in. When you take it, it balances increasing acidity and provides your blood vessels a more alkaline setting, the precise setting they require to make nitric oxide effectively. And when nitric oxide climbs up, blood vessels expand, circulation improves, warmth comes back, and reactions get better. Numerous studies demonstrate that sodium bicarbonate enhances physical capability, reduces fatigue, and boosts blood vessel capacity, all of which directly translate to improved consistency and staying power in intimate situations. But here's an essential point I need you to grasp. Baking soda by itself isn't sufficient. Sure, it provides help. Yes, it aids pH balance, but there's a boundary to how much it can accomplish alone. And this is exactly why the second powder, the one almost nobody thinks to use, matters so greatly because when you mix baking soda with the correct companion, your blood vessel system receives a degree of support that just isn't achievable with baking soda by itself. And this leads us to the following piece of the answer. Why men advancing in years face challenges with pH, nitric oxide, and blood vessel reactions in the first place. As men grow older, the internal chemistry of the body changes in ways most people never discuss, not in some sudden overnight fashion, but gradually, silently, year following year. And these minor changes eventually build up to major differences in how your blood vessels operate, particularly during times when you require strong, trustworthy circulation. One of the most significant changes involves how your system manages acidity. When you were younger, your body handled clearing acid rapidly. Your cells worked efficiently. Your metabolism ran quickly. Your blood vessels stayed reactive and stretchy. But beyond 50, your balancing systems grow weaker, your tissues bounce back more slowly, and the cells lining your blood vessels make less nitric oxide than they previously did, not because you're sick, but because natural processes simply decelerate. Now layer on actual life elements: tension, inadequate rest, medications, elevated blood pressure, declining testosterone, and decreased movement levels. All of these boost acidity and swelling inside the blood vessel network. When your system turns even a bit more acidic, nitric oxide amounts fall, your blood vessels don't completely loosen, and the smooth muscle within the vessel walls grows less reactive to signals of arousal. This explains why so many older men share with me, Dr. Ross, the want is still present, but the reaction isn't. And I consistently remind them it's not missing desire. It's blood vessel chemistry requiring support during close activity. Your system needs to quickly boost blood circulation. It requires keeping that blood flow steady, and it requires the vitality and endurance to maintain physical movement without giving out midway through. But if acidity accumulates quicker than your body can neutralize it, tiredness arrives early, your reaction weakens, and the moment grows harder to sustain. This is precisely why baking soda provides help. It neutralizes that acidity. But keep in mind, neutralizing is just one portion of the answer, because the actual transformation takes place when you aid nitric oxide creation, lower oxidative strain, enhance red blood cell bendability, and boost energy within the smooth muscle cells, controlling blood vessel expansion. And that degree of support only occurs when you include the second powder, the one that converts a basic mixture into an actual blood vessel enhancer. So let's discuss that second ingredient and why it transforms everything. Now let us discuss the second powder, the one that changes baking soda from useful into something truly effective. And here's the section most men never anticipate. It's citric acid, correct? The same tangy, sharp powder used in food preparation and preserving. But when you blend citric acid with baking soda, something notable takes place. Something that directly enhances blood circulation, nitric oxide stability, and blood vessel function in a manner baking soda alone just cannot. When these two powders encounter water, they react right away. You'll notice bubbling, you'll hear hissing, that's carbon dioxide getting released. But the actual magic isn't the fizz. It's a fresh compound formed in the reaction, sodium citrate. Sodium citrate isn't simply a leftover product. It is the secret to the combination working together. And here's the reason. To start, sodium citrate boosts nitric oxide in a separate way than baking soda. While baking soda assists by reducing acidity, sodium citrate operates by decreasing oxidative strain around the endothelium, the fragile cells that truly make nitric oxide. Reduced oxidative strain means more accessible nitric oxide, and more accessible nitric oxide means smoother, easier, stronger circulation. Next, sodium citrate makes your blood move more effectively by enhancing the bendability of red blood cells. When red blood cells flex and travel more easily through tiny capillaries, Oxygen transport increases. Improved oxygen means improved tissue function, better endurance, and better blood vessel reaction precisely where you require it. Third, sodium citrate supplies directly into your body's citric acid cycle, also called the Krebs cycle, the main engine creating cellular vitality. This is important because the smooth muscle within your blood vessels requires ATP to loosen and expand completely. More ATP means stronger expansion, extended expansion, and a greater likelihood of keeping firmness when the moment is important. And lastly, remaining bicarbonate, the portion that doesn't react, keeps on balancing acidity. This provides you the advantages of both sides: pH assistance, nitric oxide assistance, and energy assistance. That's why the blend functions so much more effectively than either powder separately. Baking soda alters the setting. Citric acid changes the chemistry. Sodium citrate strengthens the outcomes. This is when men typically say, "Why hasn't anyone shared this with me before?" And truthfully, because most people don't realize these common powders can generate such a strong blood vessel impact when combined together. Now that you comprehend what this blend produces inside your system, let us examine deeper into how sodium citrate truly operates once it gets absorbed, and why this blood vessel enhancement feels so distinct and so natural for older men. Now that you recognize how the blend turns into sodium citrate, let us explain what truly occurs inside your system and why so many men notice a clear difference the very first occasion they try it. Because sodium citrate doesn't simply assist blood circulation, it optimizes various systems simultaneously, generating what I describe as a blood vessel enhancement that feels natural, warm, and reactive. The initial major impact is on nitric oxide durability. Your system may still make nitric oxide even as you grow older, but oxidative strain triggered by inflammation, tension, and daily damage destroys nitric oxide quicker than your blood vessels can utilize it. Sodium citrate lowers that oxidative strain, permitting more nitric oxide to last longer and function more successfully. That means your blood vessels can ultimately loosen, expand, and remain expanded. Following that, sodium citrate adjusts how your blood moves. Your red blood cells turn more bendable, smoother, softer, more capable of flexing through the smallest capillaries. When red blood cells travel freely, oxygen transport rises dramatically. And oxygen is a significant factor of capability, endurance, and recovery. Improved oxygen means improved staying power, better muscle control, and a body that doesn't quit halfway through. Next, we have the energy impact. Sodium citrate supplies directly into the citric acid cycle, your cell's powerhouse for making ATP, the energy money of existence. The smooth muscle in your blood vessels depends on ATP to maintain an expansion. More ATP means those vessels can expand wider and remain expanded long enough for you to keep firmness without battling your own natural processes. There's also a slight but strong impact on nerve reactions. When acidity falls and oxygen climbs, nerve signals fire more clearly. This can result in quicker arousal, stronger feeling, and a more linked physical reaction. Not pushed, not fake, but smoother and more natural. Combine all of this together and you receive a blood vessel explosion, not in some dramatic or risky manner, but in a working manner. Improved nitric oxide, improved circulation, improved energy within the vessel walls, improved oxygen to tissues, and improved function throughout the whole experience. And the reason it feels distinct from other approaches is straightforward. Rather than pushing your body into a reaction, this blend generates the perfect setting for your natural reaction to occur by itself. Now let us discuss timing. What occurs in the initial 60 minutes following drinking this blend, and why timing is the secret to releasing the complete advantages. Timing is critical with this blend, and if you've ever questioned why some men notice a clear enhancement while others don't, it nearly always relates to when they consume it, not the ingredients by themselves. because after you drink this blend, your system progresses through multiple expected stages, each adding to stronger, smoother circulation. In the initial few minutes, the reaction between baking soda and citric acid keeps going inside your stomach. The leftover bicarbonate starts balancing acidity almost right away. This matters because as your blood turns slightly more alkaline, your cells lining blood vessels, the cells making nitric oxide, turn far more productive. It's like switching a biochemical switch that signals your blood vessels you can loosen now, you can expand. Roughly 15 to 25 minutes later, nitric oxide amounts start to climb. This doesn't feel extreme, it feels mild, perhaps a warm feeling in your hands, feet, or chest. Some men explain it as a soft awakening of circulation, a sense that everything is moving a bit smoother. Around the 30 to 45 minute point, the sodium citrate is completely absorbed. This is when the actual combination working together starts. Nitric oxide turns more stable, oxidative strain falls, red blood cells begin traveling more easily, transporting oxygen to tissues that haven't felt completely energized in a considerable time. Smooth muscle cells within the blood vessel walls begin making more ATP. In basic terms, your blood vessel network turns more prepared, more primed, and more reactive. By 45 to 60 minutes, most men arrive at what I describe as the preparation window, the time when all the processes align: improved nitric oxide creation, improved stability of vessel lining, enhanced oxygen transport, and elevated cellular vitality. This is the best time for intimacy because your system can boost blood circulation rapidly and keep it without tiring too soon. Between 60 and 90 minutes, the impacts reach their peak. This is when men frequently observe quicker arousal, stronger firmness, and much simpler maintenance. Nothing feels pushed. Nothing feels fake. It just feels like your body is reacting the manner it once did naturally, confidently, and without fighting. And here's the section I need you to keep in mind. Consuming this blend right before intimacy won't provide you the same outcomes. Your system requires that 45 to 60 minute period to modify its pH, steady nitric oxide, and power the blood vessel network. Now that you grasp the timing, let us discuss something equally significant: the precise amounts and preparation that provides you the optimal outcomes without discomfort. Now, let's discuss the section most men handle incorrectly, the true formula. Because if you blend too much, you'll experience bloating. If you blend too little, you won't notice the blood vessel boost. And if you blend the incorrect ratio, you won't generate enough sodium citrate to obtain the complete impact. The ideal spot, the ratio that functions best for most men, is 2 portions baking soda to 1 portion citric acid. Basic, reliable, simple to recall. This ratio guarantees that sufficient baking soda reacts to create sodium citrate while still retaining a bit of bicarbonate remaining to provide you that significant pH balancing impact. For a single portion, I suggest beginning with 3 grams of baking soda and half to 1 gram of citric acid. These quantities are modest, but believe me, they are more than sufficient to trigger the reaction inside your system without overwhelming your stomach. Here's the way to make it. Take a glass with roughly 8 to 12 ounces of water. Include the powders and prepare because the blend will fizz rapidly. That fizzing is a positive indication. It means the substances are reacting correctly and creating the sodium citrate you require. Allow the blend to bubble for a time. Then mix gently until it calms down. You don't have to wait for the fizz to vanish entirely, just enough so it feels comfortable to consume. The flavor is a bit salty, a bit sharp, and truthfully much simpler to drink than most men anticipate. If you wish to make it gentler, you can include a bit of lemon juice or a modest amount of fruit juice, but this is completely your choice. Consume it on an unfilled stomach or at minimum 1 hour following eating. This assists your system absorb the substances more productively and minimizes the possibility of bloating or gas. And as with anything fresh, begin modest. If you feel fine, you can gradually raise toward the upper end of the amount range as time passes. Most men share with me they can notice the change within the initial 30 to 45 minutes. That soft warmth, that lighter vitality, that feeling of circulation activating again, that's precisely what we desire. But before you attempt it, there's something vital we must discuss: protection. Because while this blend is natural and typically safe, it's not suitable for everyone. Before you attempt this blend, I wish to guide you through something crucial: safety. Because even though both powders are natural, affordable, and utilized daily in American kitchens, they still influence your chemistry. And I desire you to use them in a manner that aids your well-being, not makes it complicated. Let's begin with the ingredient requiring the most consideration: baking soda. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, which means it holds sodium. A single 3-gram portion provides you approximately 100 to 120 milligrams of sodium. That's roughly half of the suggested daily boundary for most adults. So, if you're on a reduced sodium eating plan, if you have badly managed high blood pressure, or if your doctor has particularly instructed you to monitor your sodium consumption, you must move forward cautiously and speak to your healthcare provider initially. Most healthy men handle this quantity without problems, but I don't desire you to be caught off guard by that sodium figure. It's superior to be aware than to assume. Now let's discuss the digestive aspect. Some men encounter bloating, gas, or mild uneasiness when they initially attempt baking soda, particularly if they consume it too quickly following a meal. That is why I suggest drinking the blend on an unfilled stomach or at minimum 1 hour following eating. Allowing the blend to fizz before drinking also assists because the carbon dioxide gets released in the glass rather than your stomach. If you've never tried baking soda before, begin with half the amount. Observe how your system reacts and gradually progress upward. Your system will adjust over a few attempts. Conversely, citric acid is exceptionally safe for most individuals. It's utilized in sodas, sweets, supplements, and preserved foods. The quantity we're applying here is small, well inside normal dietary amounts. It nearly never triggers digestive upset, and blending it with baking soda truly makes the final drink softer on your stomach than baking soda by itself. There's one additional group I wish to reference: men with ongoing kidney illness, heart failure, or serious fluid holding problems. These situations demand very cautious sodium handling. If you possess any of these, please verify with your doctor before trying this blend. For everybody else, this blend is viewed as low danger, straightforward, and simple to handle. Most men feel totally normal, besides the enhanced blood circulation within an hour of consuming it. And there's an advantage. When you blend the powders together, the reaction balances a section of the alkalinity, making it notably gentler on digestion compared to consuming baking soda by itself. Now that you comprehend who ought to try it and who ought to be cautious, let's expand and discuss something most men never think about: the extended benefits. Most men view this blend as a pre-intimacy enhancer. And correct, it definitely functions in the immediate term, but what amazes many of my patients is how strong this blend turns when tried regularly as time passes. Because you're not just generating a temporary enhancement, you are truly aiding the extended health, bendability, and reactions of your complete blood vessel network. Let's begin with the endothelium, the ultra-slim coating inside your blood vessels. This coating is accountable for making nitric oxide and controlling blood circulation. As you grow older, the endothelium turns stressed, swollen, and less productive. But when you frequently aid pH equilibrium, lower oxidative strain, and steady nitric oxide, all things this blend assists you accomplish, those cells lining vessels start working more like they did when you were younger. They rebuild, they fix, and they turn more reactive. There is also an interesting impact on cells that help repair vessel lining, the cells accountable for fixing damaged blood vessel tissue. Research indicates that an improved pH setting and strong mitochondrial function, which sodium citrate aids, can boost the quantity and success of these repair cells. In basic terms, you generate situations where your blood vessels can restore more productively as time passes. Next, there's the oxygen transport element. When red blood cells remain bendable and slide through capillaries smoothly, your tissues obtain more oxygen, not just during intimacy, but throughout the day. Improved oxygenation means improved endurance, sharper thinking, more steady vitality, and a stronger, healthier heart and vessel system. And don't minimize the significance of mitochondrial energy creation. The citric acid cycle is the foundation of your energy network. Aiding that pathway means your muscles, including the smooth muscle cells managing blood vessel expansion, remain energized and working longer. That converts to improved athletic capability, quicker bounce back following workouts, and more stable heart and vessel staying power. Many men who try this blend a few occasions weekly share something unexpected. Their daily circulation feels improved. They feel warmer in their hands and feet. Their morning vitality gets better, and their intimate capability turns more steady. Not just on the evenings they consume the blend, but in general. Why? Because you're not fixing the difficulty temporarily. You're assisting your blood vessel network heal, strengthen, and work the manner it's meant to. And here's the finest section. This extended aid costs nearly nothing. No costly supplements, no prescriptions, just basic powders that function together to generate a healthier, younger sensing blood vessel setting. Now that you comprehend how strong the extended advantages can be, let's pull everything together with a closing message and the most significant reminders before you begin trying this approach yourself. At this stage, you comprehend the complete picture. How two basic household powders can aid circulation, boost nitric oxide, enhance energy within your blood vessels, and assist you feel stronger, more reactive, and more self-assured. But before we finish up, I wish to provide you with the message I share every man who sits in my office questioning why things don't sense the manner they once did. Your body hasn't failed. Your masculinity isn't disappearing. Your want is still present. Most of the difficulty comes down to circulation, chemistry, and a blood vessel network that requires a bit of aid following years of tension, advancing age, and daily damage. And the wonderful thing is this: when you comprehend your chemistry, you can ultimately cooperate with it, not battle it. This blend of baking soda and citric acid isn't sorcery. It's research. It's body processes. It's providing your blood vessels the precise setting they require to expand, loosen, and remain reactive. And when your circulation gets better, everything gets better. Endurance, feeling, arousal, self-assurance, and even the manner your body senses throughout the day. If you choose to attempt this approach, do it deliberately. Apply the correct ratio. Provide your system the complete 45 to 60 minutes to take it in. Begin with smaller quantities if you're sensitive to sodium, and pay attention to your system. It will signal you precisely what functions optimally. And recall, you're not just accomplishing this for intimacy. You're accomplishing this for your extended blood vessel well-being, your vitality, and your vigor. Before we conclude, I wish to listen from you. If you possess questions, worries, or desire me to address a particular men's health subject, drop a comment beneath. I examine absolutely everything, and I respond to as many questions as I'm able to. And if you desire more natural research-supported guidance on male capability, circulation, prostate well-being, and advancing in years with strength, ensure you subscribe, because we possess more presentations arriving that you won't wish to overlook. Thank you for dedicating this time with me. I'm Dr. Rachael Ross, and I hope this assists you feel more aware, more enabled, and more in authority of your well-being starting today.